let's take a look at 20 mistakes that you might have missed in episodes from Season 4 of SpongeBob. You don't want to miss these, so watch closely and see if you can spot them. Now let's dive in.
Come on, Patrick! Would a zombie have a picture of his best buddy in his wallet?
Number 1. Squidtastic Voyage. The episode Squidtastic Voyage from Season 4 is a pretty funny episode where Squidward, no thanks to SpongeBob, gets his clarinet stuck in his throat. They manage to get it out, but the reed is still stuck, causing Squidward to sound like this.
Great! My reed is still stuck in my throat!
Right before this scene, SpongeBob goes flying out of his house. Right here, when SpongeBob first flies out of his house, he can be heard screaming, but his mouth isn't open. As you can see in the full clip, his mouth goes from being shut to opened, and yet he's screaming in both scenes. SpongeBob takes Squidward to Sandy for help. Her methods are a bit unorthodox, but she knows how to get the job done. During this scene, there's a mistake, so watch closely and see if you can spot it.
We're all set, Squidward. Are you ready for the sedative?
Are you sure this is safe?
Completely.
If you were watching Sandy, then you might have caught the mistake. In the first shot, Sandy can be seen in her usual getup, but her tail is missing. In the next shot, it's back. It's so big and fluffy that its absence is kind of noticeable. When Sandy first shows the gang the submarine is on an opened platform. Later on, when SpongeBob is guarding the submarine, it looks different.
What are you doing?
Guarding Sandy's submarine.
Wow. I've never been in a submarine.
The next mistake is a common one that happens in many episodes, but it happens so fast, so see if you can catch it. Did you see it? It happens whenever the scene first cuts to SpongeBob and Patrick. SpongeBob is opening his eyes, but his eyelashes are already sticking up. This is an unusual mistake and happens quite often, but keep an eye on SpongeBob's mouth in this next clip.
You're right, Patrick. Whirlpool spin!
SpongeBob's mouth moves at first, but whenever he tucks his chin in and says whirlpool spin, his mouth stops moving altogether. The last mistake we'll be taking a look at in this episode is a little different than the others. We know that SpongeBob and Patrick were in Squidward's throat whenever they returned to normal size, but later, the submarine is shown in Squidward's stomach.
Oh, Squidward, you swallowed your clarinet again. I'll get it.
No! Don't touch!
Number 2, New Leaf. The next episode we're looking at is New Leaf. In this episode, Plankton is turning over a new leaf and turning his restaurant into a souvenir shop. But Mr. Krabs thinks it's a ploy to steal his secret formula.
Oh, I get it. You caught me red-handed. Those were the days, huh, Eugene? But I found there was more to life than just trying to steal your formula.
The mistake here is pretty simple and easy to spot. In the first shot of Plankton speaking, there's a red rag by his foot, but when it cuts to Mr. Krabs and then back to him, it's suddenly gone. The rag isn't the only thing to disappear in this episode. In this scene, you can clearly see 2 cups on the table. Mr. Krabs is holding one, and Plankton climbs on top of the other. But in the next shot, the cup Mr. Krabs was holding is gone.
Yeah, baby! This is it! Yeah! Woo! Woo!
As Plankton is screaming in excitement, a little mistake happens that is super fast. Before he starts laughing maniacally, his mouth disappears for a frame right around here. You might have also noticed something a bit odd. Throughout the entire episode, the inside of Plankton's mouth is purple instead of red like it usually is.
I never give you the formula!
The door to the chum bucket behind Mr. Krabs is transparent, but normally it isn't. In other episodes, Plankton's door is solid with round windows, and we only see that once in this episode right here. Plankton might have remodeled, but that still doesn't explain the one scene with the original door in the middle of the episode.
Oh no, come on now, no gifts.
No, I want you to have this. It's me secret formula.
Number 3, the Pink Purloiner. The Pink Purloiner starts off on the wrong foot from the very beginning. The jellyfish on the title card are missing their spots. In the episode, SpongeBob loses his favorite net, Ol' Reliable. He is last seen using it to catch jellyfish. These are what the jellyfish on the title card should have looked like. But that isn't the most important thing about this clip. Did you notice how, when SpongeBob was catching all the rare and multicolored jellyfish, they all turned into normal pink ones inside his nets? It's an odd and noticeable mistake, but it isn't as bad as this next one. Try to spot it.
Good night, Patrick.
Good night, SpongeBob.
As SpongeBob opens the door to his house, you can see the outline of a duplicate door behind it rather than the inside of his house. It's easy to miss, but it's really bad once you notice it. It probably wouldn't have been too difficult to at least color the inside to make it look like SpongeBob's living room. You can also see how SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward's houses are lined up. But when SpongeBob is watching Patrick play with his nets, he is looking at Patrick's rock at an impossible angle. The hinge on Patrick's house is also at a different angle here than it is in this scene.
Hello? Who are you?
So there is a bit of an issue with hinge continuity.
You were my best friend, you no-good jellyfishing net thief!
How could you think that?
Because you said it! You said it was your friend SpongeBob's!
Number 4, The Gift of Gum. The last episode we'll be looking at today is The Gift of Gum. In this episode, Best Friends Day has come once again, and Patrick gives SpongeBob his collection of chewed-up gum.
Patrick! Happy best friend! Whoa!
This chewing gum is my most beloved possession, and I'm giving it to my bestest friend.
How considerate. He even has a name for it too.
You don't mind if I say goodbye to Gummy, do you?
However, the once precious gift becomes a hassle to deal with, as it is disgusting and sticks everywhere. SpongeBob tries his best to get rid of Gummy, but to no avail. He decides to pretend it's been stolen so he doesn't hurt Patrick's feelings, and dresses up as a burglar. Were you able to notice any mistakes? This one is another pretty common one, but Squidward's house isn't there when SpongeBob looks at Patrick's rock. As expected, SpongeBob's mission doesn't go as planned. When Sandy finds SpongeBob the next morning, he's wearing his normal clothes, even though when we last saw him getting stuck in Gummy, he still had the burglar clothes on. In this clip, as Sandy speaks, keep an eye on her sleeve.
Oh, let's just crazy talk.
There are 3 stripes on Sandy's arm, 2 orange and 1 blue. The one at the bottom of her sleeve is orange, but as she speaks and waves her hand, it turns blue a few times. At the very end of the episode, Patrick says this.
Goodbye, Gummy. You be good to SpongeBob, you hear? I love you too, Gummy.
But this is inaccurate, considering an entire day and night cycle has passed, so it's no longer Best Friends Day anymore. Well, that's all for today. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe. Then click the video on screen to watch our newest video. See you there.
Oh, thanks, SpongeBob.
I'll just leave you two alone to get acquainted.